Hello real world spectators, my name is Rain and welcome to another video log of my life on the Isekai realm. This is video log number 14 and today we will be focusing a lot on building just as we did in the last video log. And that's because I really want to get a lot done because I have so many ideas planned, and once we get all of that out of the way we can get into some interesting stuff like bringing Zombie Steve back to life. Well, the first thing I want to show you guys is a little bit of improvements that I've done to the beach house, and as you can see I've added some flower area here. This is like the second balcony area and we have some seating arrangements here for anyone who wants to come by and relax. I think it goes quite well with the beach house theme. And out here, as you saw earlier in my intro, I've made quite the improvements with the palm trees here on the beach, and I'm really proud of these ones because they really do make this place seem more like a beach resort. And what I did over here is hold up some carpets using some string like this to make the umbrellas and have the area set out for people who want to do a little bit of sunbathing on the beach. Let's go up here and see what else is going on here. We have more flower pots, flower area. I decided to use the variations of white flowers because they go well together and offering a bit of variations. That way it doesn't look too monotonous with the same flower. As you can see, I've used some oak trapdoors here to hold them in to be like the flowering pot casing thing. And let's go inside and go to the other balcony at the top, the second floor balcony, and see that I've done the same thing here. And honestly, if something works, use it. As you can see, this is my favorite part of this build because it faces where the sun sets, so you can view a beautiful sunset from here. And another thing you can view from the balcony is something not so beautiful, and that's these torches that have been spammed here to create lighting to prevent mobs from spawning. They really destroy the mood of this beach resort area, so what I'm going to do is remove them and replace them with something that's a bit incognito. Something that can light the entire area up, preventing mobs from spawning, and also not ruin the mood of the beach by making it look unnatural. So what I have here is a shulker box with some stacks of sea lanterns that I got from my guardian farm, and I'll be harnessing the magical power of these sandstone slabs here, which are transparent blocks, so we can put it to use that way. Light will pass through it. Remove 2 blocks from the surface like this, and then set down on that side a lantern, and then immediately at the top of it set the sandstone slab, and see, it blends in quite well with the remainder of the sand that is around it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be replacing all of these torches here and do the same thing that I did right there. I just have to figure out how many spaces I want to have as a gap between each one. So let's have it this way. Remove that block there, set down a sea lantern, and then cover it up with a sandstone slab. Alright, so behind me you can see that I've already made a lot of holes. So what's left for me to do is to set down the sea lanterns and cover them up with stone slabs. So that's what I'll do now. Let's get working on it. One of the benefits of using this method is that you can also do it underwater. Unlike using torches, which, you know, water also washes away, we can place the sea lantern down here and cover it up with a slab just like this. Oop. Okay, let me remove this one. See, it works quite well and it will prevent drones from spawning at the edge of my beach. Okay, I think I'm done putting down the last one, so let's get an aerial view of what it looks like from up in the sky. Let's see. Really nice. You can see it's well lit, so mobs won't be spawning. And also, we don't have those ugly torches that are spammed all over the place. So it does look decent at night, and during the day you won't see anything at all. So it will look clean, like a clean, pristine beach. Certainly I did a great job coming up with this idea. And who knows, maybe at some point I may do a tutorial video on clever ways of hiding lighting. And that being said, I think we can do the same thing for this deck here that has torches spammed all over the place. So what I'm going to do right here is remove one of these oak wood plank blocks and then set a sea lantern below it, just like this, and then place oak wood slab at the top, and see, the lighting shines through, especially since slabs are transparent blocks. So I'll be doing that for the rest of the balcony and other areas here on this build that can use it to minimize the amount of torches that are, to be quite frank, making the place look ugly. Alright, this looks good. I really like how safe and clean it becomes by doing the lighting this way. Alright, I think that's it for the renovations. I also did some lighting inside of the place as well. I also added some lanterns at the top. As you can see, it looks more like balconies slash porch lighting, which is great. And also, it seems the lighthouse brought something very interesting in. Instead of bringing ships, it actually brought in an airship. The airship that you just saw floating in the sky just now was actually built by one of the members of this realm that goes by the name of Pink Slip. And he was inspired to build it after seeing the lighthouse that I built here on Spawn Island. And let's go over this side and take a good look at it from here. It's a very huge build. It's really nice. I really do appreciate him building this and adding to all the builds that are here on Spawn Island. And he also mentioned to me that since I'm in the process of relocating the vending stalls that were at the center of the island, I get permission to use this airship as a merchant airship so that we can place all the flea market like stalls inside of this build here, and it will be used as a community build instead of a personal build. So that's really great. I really do appreciate the time that Pink Slip took on this build to add towards the community. And also, he gave me permission to do some renovations, and that is exactly what I'll be doing next. He said his original blueprints called for some rather expensive blocks, so what I'll do is go out and procure some of those blocks and make the renovations to suit the blueprints he initially had. So before I can get started on renovations of this airship, I will need to find myself a suitable biome that has the blocks that I require for this renovation project. So we'll need more solid colored blocks, and the place that I have in mind for this is to find a Badlands. Fortunately, recently another member asked me if I know where a Badlands biome is, you know, the Mesa biome, and I'm going there right now. So it's quite fortuitous that I found a Badlands biome just in time for me to get the materials I need for this particular renovation. By the way, I'm sure you're wondering, how do you get up to the airship if you don't fly? And that's the reason why I decided to go ahead and make a portal just for the airship. So that's the reason why it's very close to the actual beach house portal. There we go, we're inside of the airship now. That was the area that Pink Slip designated for the portal, and this is a very big space actually. I think we can work well with this right here. So I guess when I choose the terracotta blocks that I'll be replacing some of these things with, I'll use the same color scheme that he has here. Wow, this is a decent view from here. Nice. So what I'll be doing is to replace the oak blocks, the oak plank blocks, I'll be using yellow terracotta. And for the jungle blocks, I'll be using regular terracotta because it has the same color. I want to keep within the same color scheme when I'm replacing some of the blocks during the renovation process. Alright, this seems to be like some sort of exit. Yeah, let me just land down here. Alright, so the first thing I want to start with is not the inside. I'm going to start with fixing up the outside a bit. So yeah, it can look a little bit more rich and cohesive with the other builds that are already established here. So let's make our way now to the Badlands or Mesa biome that we found earlier on. Okay, this should be the portal right here. Thank goodness for fast travel through the nether. If not, I'd have to fly very far, at least 4,000 blocks away from Spawn Island. Alright, we're here. And I must say this place has improved quite a bit. It does look different from what I remembered it looking like. And the major difference is that there are trees here now at the top of the plateaus. That wasn't there before. I guess so many changes have been happening in the past. And especially recently with world law changes. Just like LPT5 touched on a bit with his book. Okay, these are the terracotta blocks that I'm going to be mining now. We need yellow. And we need normal terracotta blocks, these ones, to replace the jungle wood planks that are on the airship. So let's get some of these. I think about 3 or 5 stacks should do, I guess, or a little more. We can always come back for more once we run out. Alright, time to get some yellow terracotta blocks. These will work well because they don't look particularly yellow, and because of its darkness, it looks a bit gold. So it will definitely make the ship look a bit more refined and sturdy. And that's exactly what I'm going for when replacing the oak wood planks with these terracotta blocks. Okay, I think I've gathered enough. Let's see, we have at least 9 stacks of each color. And I think I'm going to be using more of the yellow terracotta, but I'll come back if I need more. I'll start with the top of the airship because I won't be needing any scaffolding blocks for this. I'll remove these 2 jungle wood plank blocks and replace them with the corresponding terracotta block color. That's the regular terracotta, and also do the same for the others afterward. And then for these oak wood planks, I'll replace them with the yellow terracotta blocks so as to stay true to the original color scheme of this build. Now that I look at it a bit more, it almost seems as if the ship will be made out of gold and copper because of the colors that will be used for the framework of this airship. And what the terracotta does in place of the planks that were originally used is that it makes it a little more pronounced in color, that way you can see it very clearly. Alright, I've already replaced most of the blocks from this side of the airship, and so far just from giving it a quick look you can see that the colors are more vibrant and they show more distinct. I have also done at the top, and what's left is on this side. So this side we can use to compare to what it was before. It looks a little bit dull in color. Definitely the other side is a step up from that, and I feel like definitely Pink Slip will like how it turns out in the end. Another thing we need to replace is the cobblestone right there. We need something the same color, and gray terracotta doesn't have any gray to it whatsoever. It's like some sort of bluish color, and so I don't want to use that. So instead I think we're going to use some light gray concrete to replace the cobblestone at the bottom of that build with. So let's work on that next. But before we get to that, we have an issue with creepers and other mobs spawning up here, so we have to at least put some sort of lighting here. And as usual, I want to put some hidden lighting in here instead of having torches spammed all over the place. So let's put these sea lanterns down inside the actual balloon part of this airship. And since it's made out of white wool, we can actually use this to our advantage in order to use white carpet to cover up these sea lanterns and make it a bit incognito. That way it's well lit and it doesn't show very much, unlike when you use torches. Making concrete blocks is still a very tedious process. Alright, so now we will replace all the cobblestone blocks with these light gray concrete blocks all the way around, all the way to the bottom, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Alright, after a couple hours I'm finished. I also replaced the blocks at the bottom of the ship. As you can see, it's not very dark at the bottom of the ship either because I cleverly hid some lighting there. So yeah, I think I'm done with this for now. It came out really nice. What do you think about it? I think Pink Slip will really like it himself. What I want to work on here is right in this pathway here on Spawn Island. I feel like it's lacking something, and so I decided right at the center of the pathway here we can place a block here and mark out where I want to build a fountain. Now the design for this particular fountain is not an original one of mine. I think I saw it somewhere long time ago. I don't remember who was the one who originally built it or designed it, but I think I don't really want a very big fountain. I want a medium-sized one, I would say. So that's the reason I'm going for this fountain idea, because I don't want the fountain to be so big that it would, you know, reach the same height as all of these buildings right here. From up here you can see that the fountain will have a decent sized footprint. It will not be too big, it will not be too small, and I think that fits just perfectly for what I want to do. So I think we should start with the center pillar here from which the water will flow down from, and then we get to designing all around it. So this is what I have of the... Hello. Hi. So this is what I have of the base so far, also using cobblestone walls to hold up the structure. Let me get rid of these scaffolding blocks here. They're a bit frustrating to use sometimes. Alright, so this is the finished project, more or less. So all that's left to do is to put in some water at the base, like this. Fill in this entire area with water all around. And then finally, we can get to adding the water at the top that flows down, which actually makes the fountain. So let's place that there and it falls down perfectly. I think it looks quite well for a small to medium sized fountain. What do you think? And just to give it a little more altitude, I added that at the top, that part. And this finished quite quickly actually. I think it's time for me to move on to another project. So let's go ahead and prepare for our next project. So right here on Spawn Island's portal room, I have a map here, and as you can see, it has all the builds that we have so far here, including that very gigantic build hovering over the community post office, the merchant airship, and earlier during the week, what I did was message everyone and tell them that we have a community build project that requires donations. So inside of the project center here, we have the Battle Coliseum project that I have here, a special chest just for all the donations of nether quartz that we'll be needing for the arena that we'll be building over there. And behind the scenes, I did a little short competition to see who can gather the most nether quartz ore, and the winner of that competition was Yuki, and so all the quartz gathered in the competition was put in the donation box for this project. Right now we have to prepare the location, which is over here where we have the zombie spawner for the PvP game that I've been talking about and we've been testing for quite some time now. That's the reason we're building this coliseum in the first place. So what I'll do is remove all of this dirt and gravel here so that we can flatten the area and start setting down those very expensive nether quartz blocks. Now I'll get a bunch of these nether quartz here, and then after that make them into nether quartz blocks. They do use a lot of nether quartz just to make one block, so this is one of the most expensive decorative blocks in this world. What I want to do is create the circle and start it from this entrance, from this exit of the zombie spawner here, and then make a circle all the way around. It's going to be a large base for the Colosseum, and that's what we'll be working on. Alright, this is the size of the circle so far. The diameter is 48 blocks. I think that's a decent size and an enough space for like a battle or a PvP challenge to take place. Next, I need to fill out the entire flooring area with the nether quartz blocks, and I'm going to be filling out as much as I can because I don't think it will give to fill out the entire space. And these are the last two blocks right here. Let's see our progress from the sky. Yes, out of all the quartz that we got in that mini competition, this is all we got to fill out. And this is just the base that we haven't filled out yet. We still have the entire build of the Colosseum yet, made out of nether quartz and pillar blocks from nether quartz. That will be taking a lot of effort and time. Okay, after filling out the map, I can gauge how large this build is going to be, and I think it's going to be the largest build on Spawn Island, so it's going to be very important for us to finish this. There's something that I've been considering for quite some time now, ever since the expansion of my bookstore, and that has to do with offering discounts to my more frequent customers and active members of this realm. So I have a coupon here that reads, "This is a coupon that can be used with the purchase of any enchanted book at Rain's Enchanted Bookstore. Get 3 diamonds off one purchase using this coupon," and the instructions are pretty clear. So what I'm going to do is leave these books right here, REB coupon, and notice in the description it says copy of a copy and this one copy of original. What I will be giving them is a copy of the original while I keep the original for myself. If anyone gives me a copy of a copy inside of one of my chests, I know they made a copy of the book themselves, and that means that coupon has no worth. Alright, let's put these inside. Let's see which members. Crazy Boy Yuki, Miki and I, Loki Buns. I'll give him one. Definitely. So I'll be putting in here a copy of the original. That's the only one that has value inside my bookstore. Anything that says copy of a copy will be deemed void, and then the person will have to actually pay up in diamonds. One for Raskatron. Who else? Let's see, one for Pink Slip, especially him since he went ahead and contributed such a large bill towards the community. And also, I'm going to give one to Miki and Dai, and also her brother Yuki. There we go. Alright, I hope they put this to great use inside my bookstore. I'm really excited to be doing such promotions for my bookstore. Oh, I almost forgot. I still have this copy of a copy here, so I'll grab my flint and steel right here, throw this book on the floor and burn it, completely destroyed. And also tuck away the original book in my ender chest so that it's safe from anyone. Before I leave Spawn Island, I need to come by here at one of these chests that used to be part of the stands. Okay, fortunately they have brown wool. That's exactly what I need. So I'll grab these stacks of brown wool and leave the payment inside of the chest. And I'll be working on the village right here. I've sort of been neglecting the Plains Village project for quite some time now, so I'm getting back to it. And the first thing I want to do is use the brown wool to make carpets to cover all of these oak wood logs here, because stuff at night do spawn on top of it and then they jump into the village and go and mess with my villagers, and we can't have that happening. So what I'm going to do is use as much of this carpet as possible to completely cover all of these oak logs right here to prevent mobs from spawning. Alright. Yep, completely finished, and it looks quite nice. It adds a different color to the walls. I also need to drag these iron golems back inside of the village because for some reason they keep roaming outside. They need to stay inside and make the village safe. So this is another step of protection towards this plains village here, apart from the carpets preventing mobs from spawning on top of the walls. Alright, now here comes the second one. What I'll also do is block off their exits so they don't roam outside anymore, and also prevent other mobs from coming in. So what I'll do is also do it for the rest of the entrances or exits that exist in the Plains village. So I have my project bag right here because I'm about to start a very big project. It's mostly time consuming and I'm going to do it right here in this village. And that's to build a lot of buildings that exist within a plain village in general that have not spawned in this particular village. So with all the space that I have here, I'm going to be building everything that didn't spawn in here. That in one of my previous video logs, when I was going towards the woodland mansion, I bumped into several villages, and one of them was a plains village that had some buildings I had never seen before. So what I did is a little more research and went out and gathered all the materials I will be needing for this project. So let's build another meeting area here because we have one over there. So if we put one here, it will expand the village and we will have a lot of traffic going on. You know, we want the village to look lively and busy and more like a town than just a village. Alright, so this is the start of the meeting area that I saw in one of the other villages, and fortunately when I was traveling around going towards the woodland mansion, I decided to take some of their bells just for this occasion here. Alright, well I'm done with this one. This is exactly or more or less what it's supposed to look like. So after this, what I'll be doing is building some more stuff, so let's get to it, right? I have so many different builds to do that haven't been spawned in this village. Here's another one of the structures I found in one of the plains village, and it's a small fountain. In fact, this was one of the meeting places, but I'm not going to do that for this particular one. Another thing I found strange is that this plains village had no well, and plains villages are known for having at least one well in it. Another common thing in plains villages are farms. For some reason this one didn't have, and what I'll do is something special for this farm using these sea lanterns, and that's to have them below these tilled dirt blocks, because since tilled dirt is actually transparent blocks, the light will shine through just like that. And if you don't believe me, let's go to this darker one here, and when I till it, it will be brighter. Look at it. There we go, you see the light shining through? That's a perfect incognito way of lighting up your crops so that they continue growing even at night. Alright, at this point I'm going to start the very time-consuming process of making all the houses and builds inside of a plains village that have not spawned in this particular one. So I'm not going to show each and every one that I'll be building. So what I'll do is fly around the village so you can have one last look at it, and then from there, the next time you see me, I will have already built all the other buildings that are required for this plains village to be completed, and that's going to be a lot. So it's going to take me at least a few real-world days. What are these guys doing? Hello? Are you talking about me? Son muy chismosos. Alright, after 3 days, I've completed all the builds inside the plains village that I said. And what I need right now is to get some planks and also some yellow wool. So I'll be using these flowers for the yellow dye in order to make some beds, some yellow beds to be more precise, because that's the color of beds that the plains village have inside of the houses. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll dye all of these wool into yellow wool and then make beds out of them. I think it uses a lot of resources, but that's what I want to do for consistency. Whoops. Maybe what I needed to do is buy a stack of yellow wool from Rosketron, because he does have a farm for wool. If only there was an easier way to dye beds. Can you even do that? Let's check. If I have a white bed, let's get the white bed here. All right, wait. Did I just dye my yellow bed white? Yes. So that means you can do the opposite. If you have a white bed, you can dye you can dye the bed yellow as well. Let's see. Yes. It's as easy as that, and I've been dyeing 3 wool each time. I'm wasting all my dye. This is such a dingbat move. Let me try this one more time just to be sure. 1, 2, 3. There we go. White bed. it does give me the option for, let's just place this in here and 1 yellow dye. Are you kidding me? I've been doing it the long way all the Oh my goodness, this is definitely a dingbat moment. Time to add that to the counter right now. That gives me a total of 3 dingbats moments in my video logs. Alright, so let's get to the village now. And the first thing I'm going to do is douse myself in some potion of slow falling, because what I want to do is give you an aerial view first of the village after I've completed all of the builds and I guess overall landscaping within the village. Let's see. There we go. Watch how many houses. Oop, looks like I went a little too high. But look how many builds are inside of that village now. It's completely filled from wall to wall with builds, and each of them are different, with the exception of the ones that actually spawned in. We have a few of them that, you know, are copies of the other one, but that was what actually naturally spawned in. The buildings that I actually built are completely different from all the others. They're unique, and also all of them are capable of spawning within a plains village. So let's get started, shall we? The first thing that I want to show you is this map that I created right here that shows the village in its gloriousness. Look at that. Look how awesome that looks. It looks like a real settlement. Better than what, you know, the world has to offer on itself. So there is my mining outpost. That's the village that we started out life in. And over here at the bottom is where I'm building my castle. So all my builds are in one general region, and I think I'm claiming this entire region for myself because I love building in this particular region. So let's go take a tour of all the houses that I have built. Starting with here, I blocked off the entrance with some fence and some fence gates for now. That's a project on its own for another video log. I'll be doing a redstone gate. So let's start here with this. I'm guessing this is a smoker's house. So this is a butcher's house, right? So I'll be placing down the workstations as I go along for those that have it missing. So for the butcher, we have a smoker here, and they also have a farm land outside with cows. I guess that's what they use for their work. And also next we have another house here. I'm not sure which house this is because it didn't have any workstation in it, but it did have a lot of hay. And I remember in my past video log when I went into one of these places, I took all the hay from outside. So I'll be placing down a bed here because if I recall correctly, there was also a bed in here with a villager in this particular build right here in this house in the Plains village. These other buildings right here were already here. They're naturally spawned in. Let's see where we go to next. Okay. I believe I already showed you all the farmland that I put in here. This is another house that was in one of the Plains village. I did my research. I believe this is the Fisherman's house. So I think I should be placing some workstations here. They use barrels. They have water going all the way around. I'm guessing this is where they do their fishing as well. So I'm just going to be placing these around here. There were quite an amount of barrels outside if I recall correctly. So there will be plenty workstations for whichever villager is currently unemployed. Alright, let's make our way towards the other side of this build. And we have another house here. It has some wheat. I'm guessing this is a farmer's house. It's very small and quaint, so I'll be putting down a bed there as well. Right here we have the entrance towards the end fortress. So I think I'll be working on that another time as well to make it a bit outside of the village, I guess. That way we don't have villagers going down there and getting stuck and also getting killed by zombies that spawn underneath. Okay, this is another one right here, and this one is very interesting because this build houses the workstation of the armorer, which is the blast furnace, and I really like how this little chimney area works out because at the back it protrudes out a bit and then we have the chimney going outside. This is the well that we created earlier, and over here we have a Fletcher's house. I didn't create the workstation for the Fletcher yet because I completely forgot what it was all about or how to create it, so I'll get back to that later. Let's see, where else do we go? Okay, over here we have the most sought for build within any village by any person ever, and that's the blacksmith's shop, basically the workstation for that, but now it's used mostly for the weaponsmith. Here we have a librarian's house. I think this is I think this is the small one. I'm not completely sure, but it has an upstairs as well. This temple church structure is actually the naturally spawned one in this Plains village, and this is the alternative version. It has the same white and yellow stained glass, and it's supposed to have a potion brewer in there, but I didn't put one in yet. And this is also a smoker's house. I think this is the larger version than the other one. This one has 2 stories high. It has this place where they cut the meats, and also a smoker belongs up here as well, so I'm going to place that there, and the chimney that takes the smoke upward. Alright, let's see what else I built. This is just a normal small little house, very small. It only has 1 window. I'm going to put a bed in here so that a villager can claim it. And let's see. Yep, I did bring a cauldron with me. I'm going to be placing this here as the workstation because this is the house for the leather worker, and that's what they use. Let's see. Let me just close these doors because these villagers don't like to close their doors. Alright, this is just another farm that I decided to put there. Let's see what next. This tall building here, I have no idea what this is. I think this is like an apartment complex or something for like villagers. I don't remember seeing any beds in it, so I didn't put anything inside. It also didn't have any workstation, so I'm not sure what to do with this, but it sure does look really nice right here. Also, this was the only place that didn't have a floor. It only had like grass or whatever blocks were naturally spawned below it. This one is the large librarian's house. This took quite some time to build. Let's go inside. It actually has 2 lecterns inside, and it does have a 2nd floor that leads up towards the balcony. And let's see what other build we can get to next. This one is just a villager house, so I'm going to be placing a bed in there. I don't know why these villagers don't like to close their doors. Oh, also I actually terraformed a bit over here and made a mini little woods area with some tall grass and some grass. This is the fountain that we created earlier. I think everything looks quite nice, don't you think so? The entrance over there was blocked off a bit. And let's see what else we have here. We have kids playing in the middle of the night. All of them need to go to sleep. This is another small house, and the only difference with the one that I made over there is that I use different flowers. So I'll have to come back and put a bed in there. Whoa, it looks even more amazing at night. Look how well lit it is. Oh, it looks so good. Well, I brought the bed now so I can place it in here. Something that I found over here at this meeting spot is that when you hit the bell, it does not ring. There's something wrong with it because it happens to both, but when I point a bow at it, see, it rings. I didn't even shoot it with the arrow. Let's try that again. See? Some strange world law is taking place here that I don't understand. It's like it doesn't even make any sense, but anyway, that's how it works. This is the final build, I think. It's a horse stable. It's a large horse stable. I'm not sure if this is this is the large one. It has the watering area for the horses or whichever animal you have in this stable, whether it's a donkey or horses. Oh, I forgot to cover this up. Alright, and then okay, this is the final one. It's just like a chicken coop or something like that. So that's it for the builds. I did invest a lot of time in this particular project, more than the other projects, and I have to say that it came out really nice. I'm very proud of it. I'm still not done with this Plains village yet. Most of the villagers in there are librarians because they are the ones that supply my bookstore, so I really care about this village a lot, and I'll be working a bit more on it in the future as well. I do have a lot more detailing to do and attempting to make the place a little more fortified as well, but unfortunately that's all the time I have for this video log. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up, and if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Because that helps the channel out a lot. And I'm guessing that the next episode will be a lot more about building as well. And then after that, when I get everything done in regards to building, I can get a little bit more into the story that has been going on here on the Isekai realm. See you guys next time. What on earth even is that thing? Is that Pac-Man? Or something close to it? See for yourself. It looks a bit like Pac-Man, doesn't it? Things are about to get interesting around here lately, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what it is in the next video log.